Good morning to all the students of class 10th. We were doing this lesson, Glimpses of India. We had done part 1, that is A Baker to Goa. Here we're going to start with part 2, Coorg. COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Students, there are 3 things you need to keep in your mind while moving out of your house. Number 1, wearing mask. Wearing mask is mandatory and you should not forget to wear a mask when you move out of your house. It's one of the most important preventive measure you can take. Second is maintaining social distancing of 6 feet. When you are going out anywhere, make sure that you are standing away from others from 6 feet. At least 6 feet you are away from the others. Third is hand hygiene. Always carrying a sanitizer with you when you are going out, and after coming back to home, before the entry, just make sure that you have a hand wash outside there. You can wash your hands and then enter inside. So students, these are the 3 things. If you adapt in your daily life, then there will be no harm to your family and of course to yourself. So I hope that you will follow these and have a good, healthy life. Let's begin part 2, Coorg. Before starting this part, it's important to know where Coorg is. Coorg is the smallest district in Karnataka, lying midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. And students, if you get the chance to visit this place, I would want you to definitely go for this place. It's a lovely place. As the writer, Mr. Abrol, says that it's a piece of heaven, and yes, it is. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women and wild creatures. So this place, which consists of series of low hills, this place is occupied by the people belonging to army men, martial men, which we say, and beautiful women, and also the different species of wild creatures. Coorg or Kodagu is the smallest district of Karnataka, is home to evergreen rainforest, spices, and most importantly is coffee plantations. So students, Coorg is home to evergreen rainforest. We're going to find very thick, dense forest here and different kinds of spices, and most importantly Coorg is famous for coffee plantations. So if we talk about the coffee plantations all over the India, you're going to be finding the highest producer of coffee is this place, Karnataka, especially Coorg. During the monsoons, it pours enough to keep many visitors away. The season of joy commences from September and continues till March. So basically, during monsoons, the rainfall is so heavy that the tourists, the visitors keeps away at this particular season, at the monsoon season. But if we talk about the lovely season that commences from September and continues till March, so preferably if anybody wants to visit this place, they can go from September to March, because the season there is full of joy and full of happiness. The weather especially is perfect during this time, with some showers thrown in for good measure. The air breathes of invigorating. Invigorating means making one feel strong, healthy and full of energy. And how can someone feel healthy and energetic? only when the atmosphere is full of greenery, positivity. So here it goes, when during this time the showers become little less, but the kind of atmosphere is too lovely. Even the air that surrounds that place smells of coffee, the trees, and these lovely nature, birds. So the atmosphere is absolutely amazing and perfect. Coffee estates and colonial bungalows stand tucked under tree canopies in prime corners. Canopies is roof-like coverings that form shelters. So, here in Coorg, you're going to be finding coffee estates, a lot of coffee estates for the production of coffee plantations, and colonial bungalows, the bungalows that have been built during the time of colonial rule. And these colonial bungalows are being covered, are being tucked up under the tree canopies. The canopies formed by the trees, the branches of the trees covering these buildings, these bungalows, and it looks so amazing. The fiercely independent people of Coorg are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. So these people belonging to Coorg place, they all are their origin. Where their origin is from? Their origin is from Greek or Arabic. Their family belonging to Greek and Arabic descent. And one of these stories in the past suggests that a part of Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled here when return became impractical. These people married amongst the locals, and their culture is apparent in the martial traditions, marriage, and religious sites, which are distinct from the Hindu mainstream. So basically, students, there is a story about Corgi people, about people living in Coorg, that once upon a time a part of Alexander's army came here to India in south part along the coast, and they did not go back. They stayed here and they married the locals there in the south. After marrying, their family expanded, and these people married amongst the locals. Their culture is apparent, and their culture, their traditions, their marriages, their religious sites are clearly visible and understood to all just by looking at them, the customs, the traditions that they follow, the religion that they follow. And these are quite distinct, quite different from the Hindu mainstream, from the Hinduism, a tradition which most people follow in our country. The theory of Arab origin draws support from the long black coat with an embroidered waist belt worn by the Kodavus, known as Skopia. So, as you can have a look at the picture here, the dress worn by this person, it's a traditional Corgi dress. So, this is a long coat, black coat with an embroidered waist here, waist belt worn by the Kodavus, and it is known as Skopia. It is known as Skopia. It's a traditional Corgi dress. It resembles the kufiya worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. So similar dress is worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. So there are a lot of similarities. So therefore, it's hence proved that their origin is from Greek or Arabic descent. And Corgi homes are, they have a tradition of hospitality. They have a tradition of welcoming the guest, looking after them, and they are very welcoming. They are more than willing to recount numerous tales of valor. There are so many stories of there are so many courageous stories about them, because they are very brave hearts. We Corgi people are very brave hearts. Their fathers, their sons, everyone, most of them have their own stories of valor, their tales of valor. We can say tales of valor. Valor means great courage. And what's one such example of their tales of valor is the Corgi Regiment. Coorg Regiment is one of the most decorated in the Indian Army, and the first chief of the Indian Army, General Cariappa, was a Corgi. Even now, Kodavus are the only people, just underline this line, Kodavus are the only people in India permitted to carry firearms without a license. So yes, their tale of courage, we can get the example here, the Coorg Regiment. It is one of the most decorated regiment in the Indian Army, and the first Indian chief that we have got for our country is none other than from belonging to a Coorg place. He is a Corgi himself, and he is none other than General Cariappa. And even now, even today, the Kodavus are the only people in India that they are permitted to carry firearms including guns, pistols and many more, without a license. So they are not required to carry a license for carrying firearm, and they are the only people in India to be permitted so there are more lovely places in Coorg. Number one is River Kaveri. Obtains its water from the hills and forest of Coorg. The water that the River Kaveri gets, the water obtains from the hills and the forest of Coorg. The forest there is very dense, and there are a number of low hills there, so the water comes from there. And another very large freshwater fish we call mahasir is large number in these waters. Kingfishers dive for their catch, while squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash and the ripple effect in the clear water. So the creatures that are found here are kingfishers, a kind of bird. They dive for their catch, while squirrels and langurs, they drop their partially eaten food inside the clear water so that they could enjoy the splash, they could enjoy the ripple effect. What is ripple effect? When something is thrown in the clear water, or you throw a stone, or you throw something, there's an action, a current is formed, one after the other, the effect is formed. You must have seen it. So to enjoy that effect, to enjoy the ripple effect, to enjoy the splash in the clear water, these squirrels and langurs enjoy partially throwing their eaten fruits in the water. And elephants also, you're going to see the elephants here also. Elephants enjoy getting bathed and scrubbed by their ma-outs, by their owners. The most laid-back individuals become converts to the life of high-energy adventure with river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing and mountain biking. So you're going to be finding a very high energy adventures here. If you want to go for these adventures, you're more than welcome. You can go for the river rafting, and you can go for the canoeing. You must have seen long boats, 2 or 4 people sitting. Only maximum 4 people can sit on. Like there are different types of boats for canoeing, like 2-seaters, 4-seaters. Then you can even go for the rappelling. Rappelling is going down a cliff by sliding down a rope. So there is a cliff, there is a slanting cliff, and with the help of a rope you can just slide down. So this is kind of a adventure, high energy adventure spot. Then rock climbing, you can go for the rock climbing, and you can go for the mountain biking. You will find numerous walking trails in this region, especially favorite for the trekkers. This place is really good for trekking, and these trekkers have found numerous walking paths. Trails means paths created by walking, and then you're going to be finding birds, bees, butterflies, macaques. It's the species macaques belonging to a monkey family, Malabar squirrels, langurs, and slender loris. If you're going to find the picture of slender loris in the Google, just find it out. These slender lorises are the the creatures belong to loris community, genres of loris community, native to India and Sri Lanka. Their lifespan is just 15 years, and they spend most of their life in trees. And then they basically feed on insects, reptiles, shoots of plant and fruits. So you're going to be finding all these species, these creatures here in this Coorg region, these forests. And then I do, however, prefer to step aside for wild elephants. The writer says that he prefers to just little bit be away from the prefer to step aside for wild elephants. The climb to the Brahmagiri hills brings you into a panoramic view of the entire misty landscape of Coorg. So the writer, Mr. Abrol, says that if you climb the Brahmagiri hills, from there you can have a look at the Coorg region, and you can have the panoramic view. Panoramic view means a view of a wide area of land. You can have the panoramic view of the entire misty landscape, the entire foggy scenery, and it looks really amazing. A walk across the rope bridge leads to the 64-acre island of Nisargadama. So you'll also be going to find, after walking the rope bridge, there is a rope bridge there, and it will lead to a 64-acre island of Nisargadama, and running into Buddhist monks from India's largest Tibetan settlement and nearby Bailaku. So you'll also be going to find the India's largest Tibetan community, Tibetan settlement, where in Bailaku, and it's a treat to watch them. It's treat to watch this Tibetan settlement. All the monks in red, ochre, yellow robes. These dresses, you must have seen the Tibetan people wearing those red, wearing those orange clay color dresses from top to bottom, long and loose garment, which is known as robe. So you're going to be finding the people there wearing these robes, and the writer at the end says that there are still many people that they are still a way to visit the heart and soul of India, which is right here in Coorg. So there are many people who still not aware of this place, who don't even know that this place exists, and they are away from visiting the heart and soul of India. So the writer, after describing this lovely place Coorg, has a message to all the readers that they all should visit this place, which is the heart and soul of India, right here in Coorg, right here in Karnataka, small district in Karnataka, midday between Mysore and the coastal town of Bangalore. So students, we came to know that there are lovely places still to be discovered by us. There are places that we don't even know, that we are not even aware. So keep reading them, and if you get the chance to visit these places, you should, just to know about the history of that place, about the culture, tradition, and the mental peace that you get, the knowledge, the knowledge that you get enhanced by watching these places. It's just incredible. So this is a place, this is part 2 that we have completed today. Okay, so read it very thoroughly and deeply.